All right, welcome back. So last video I did the Sleepy Eye mod, and it was kind of a how-to. It was also me going through the process and learning it myself, trying to figure out how to do it. It was definitely a trial and error type thing. And so after I made that video, I had a lot of requests. Some people just wanted the stopper that I 3D printed. And then I had a lot of people asking about a kit, a complete kit. And honestly, it wasn't too hard to put together a kit. It took me a minute to figure out the easiest way to do it. I started by making a plastic bracket out of ABS, 1/8 inch ABS. And then I was thinking, how could I make it possibly stronger? And I decided to get a sheet of aluminum, and I made it out of aluminum. I decided to stay away from that because that was a lot more labor intensive than I wanted. So I went and I decided to go a new route, and I basically 3D printed the bracket. I redesigned it, a little smoother edges, not so many contours. And then because I had to offset the bracket, I decided to build that into the design with the angles needed. The holes were all needed, all ready to go, 3D printed, and it should be an easy bolt-in application. The only thing is you will need to do some drilling, but I'm just going to make this short video just to kind of walk you through the process of installing the basic kit. All right, so this is pretty much everything except I only have one bracket printed. The other one is printing right now. This is the driver's side. Passenger side is completely opposite of this. But it will come with the 2 headlights, the spacers, brackets, hardware for the headlights. I'm including bolts and washers for the stopper. And then because I know it's not an easy thing to do, I'm including the drill bit, which is a drill and tap. Everything here these are 1/4-20s, these are 1/4-20s, these are 1/4-20s. The thread pitch. So I put a 1/4-20 drill bit in there, and it should be really easy. All you need is a drill, and you can drill all the holes and mount everything up. I'm including, I'll crimp on the ends for the wires, and I'll probably heat shrink to them, have that all ready to go. So all you need to do is plug and play. This is the mounting hardware for the bracket, and so you can see how I designed the bracket, 3D printed it. Came out really nice. It's got all the holes needed, but it's at the angle I need, and I was able to see it better like this, get the angle I needed, because once it is sloped in the bracket, this actually slopes at a different angle, and then that angle allows the headlight to sit basically perpendicular with the body, so it's pointed straight ahead. Otherwise it would end up being pointed inwards, I believe. Yeah. So this is the driver's side. Passenger side is completely opposite. That's upstairs printing. And yeah, so this is the complete kit. And now we'll start going through the process of putting it all together. All right, so the easiest way I found is to start with the plate and then mount the bracket to the plate. And so the holes are kind of tight, which is not a bad thing. It leaves for no play, you know, no wiggle room. You might even have to thread it a little bit to get it in there, but that's fine because I'm also including the Allen key needed to do that. But yeah, so we're gonna start by no washers on top. They're not necessary. The nice part about this is, because I know every headlight isn't the same, is once these are in all the way and through, even though they're tight, the bracket itself does have a little bit of play. Not every headlight is going to be exactly the same, so this does leave room for error. This will allow you to tilt and adjust to get that headlight perfectly level with the ground before tightening it up. So anyways, we're just gonna take the bracket, throw it on there. I'm gonna throw 2 washers on the back, and then I've got some nylon locking nuts to go with that. It is a 7/16 is what the locking nut is. You don't need to over tighten it. You know, it's plastic. It is pretty rigid though for a 3D printed part, which is impressive. One of the things I love about my 3D printer, man. And even if it wasn't rigid enough, I could actually increase the infill and make it stronger. These have I did a 40% infill. No, 50%. So before I tighten that, I want to move that. I did a lot of measuring, so I think my angle here is the right angle, so I'm going to try and get it as flush here as possible. And like I said, no need to over tighten. It will bend the plastic a little bit, but that looks perfect. Now I know this is a weird shape to it, so it doesn't matter whether it goes up or down. The hole is pretty much centered of the bracket. It's centered with the holes, or with the bolts here. So it doesn't matter if I do it this way or I flip it upside down. I just will match whatever I do on both sides. So this way I have the loop going on the bottom side, the curve. So I mounted this first, get that going. Second thing I do is then take the headlight, feed the wire through the hole. Now, this takes some testing, but if you look at the bracket is on one side. So now I believe, and I will double check, that when they're down, the light is right side up. So when the offset is down versus here, the offset would be on top. I'm gonna double check that with a battery. I have a DeWalt battery, makes it easy to do testing. It's really simple. Negative and negative, positive and positive. And if you can see the light, you can see that the line is there. Line is here and the light shines downward. So that's right side up right there. The headlights come with these nuts. You throw the nut inside there. It's got a little slot. And then this is the only part that is somewhat difficult. Kit does come with an Allen key. All the hardware that I bought requires a 4mm M4 Allen key, and the headlights come with its own M5, I believe it is, because I'm using 5mm. So this is the hard part, is getting everything to line up. But with just playing with it, it goes in. I leave that loose before I get the other side in. Pretty much grabs the nut and pulls it to where it needs to be. Now, I don't want to over tighten. I tighten them hand tight. and that allows me to still be able to flex this and move it around, so that once it is in the car and I have the headlight installed and functional, and at the right height with the stopper installed, then I can take this and I can line it up. The best method is to, I believe it's to park about 25 feet away from a wall on a level ground. Measure from the ground up to the center of this beam where it's at here, and match that from the ground up to the line on the wall where the headlight is projecting. That will get your headlight completely level. And that's, so basically this, you know, once you get it level, then you can come in and tighten these up, lock them in place. And from what I've experienced so far with driving them on my car, they are solid. But anyways, so that's as much as you need to do to prep, and now we can take it outside and install it. Alright, so let's start by, what size is this? Number 6. If you have a number 6 Allen key, it fits perfect inside the headlight motor. And I just use that, my extension, turn it counterclockwise, and that's what lifts up the headlight. You can go ahead and lift it up all the way for ease of operation. Now, I ended up changing mine a little bit. I already had mine mounted. I drilled the holes and everything. And then when I redesigned it, I changed the location of where I had one of the holes. So I need to re-drill, which is perfect. I'll show you guys how it works. Basically what I'm doing, and what I would have you do, is to put tape on all the corners. So you'd put tape here, you would end up putting tape here, here, and here. Blue tape works great, doesn't overstick. I'll feed my wire through, get the bracket in place. Now, when you do it, it pretty much lines up perfectly at the bottom right here. And you can slide back and forth a little bit when you guys do it. I already have holes, so I know what I have to line up to. So I just need to mark this hole. For drilling. Then I'll take the 1/4 bit and pretty easy. You just take your time. No need to bury the bit all the way through. It actually, they're very sharp. They drill really easy, and this metal is pretty thin. It's not not overkill. It's probably just cast. I think it's just cast aluminum. I'm not sure. But now that I have that, now I can take the headlight, and start. Threading it in place. leave it kind of loose just in case it needs some adjusting. And you just drop the headlight to hit this one. The ABS that I print that with is a nice flat dark black, so blends in well. Now I messed up on this bottom hole, so I won't be able to use that one, but it's fine. I mean, you can see that is strong. That's not, even with bouncing around, it doesn't. It's going to be solid. So now, if you saw my previous video, you know that down here is where I mounted or drilled the hole already to mount the spacer. So basically what I'm going to do is take the spacer, take the long 1/4-20 with the washer, throw that on there, and I'm setting it here on the side. It might be a little difficult trying to tighten this down with an Allen key. The socket Allen keys are clutch in a situation like this, because I can take this and put it on a socket extension and basically come in from the top and lock that in. I'm going to leave it loose real quick because I need to lower the headlight first to move the arm to where I need it. Once that arm is clear, I'm not sure if you guys can see or not, but I can put it right about there so that the arm lands right on it. And then I can come in and tighten this up. And again, snug, no reason to over tighten. It's a plastic part. Then you can reach inside and find the wiring. And I think I mentioned this in the previous video. On this side, I know the brown is positive. And that just slides in there. That slides in there, negative. And there's so much room down here, I don't worry about. If you want to zip tie it, hold it in place, that's fine. So now this is where I will lock it in place. I don't think I can do it from here, so I might have to get the small Allen key. Yeah, I'm gonna need the Allen key. So you use the Allen key instead of a socket, and that gets it in place. I do, however, want to close this and make sure, yeah, you can see the light definitely clears the bumper. Barely, but it clears. It actually stops right before it. pretty much it. So all you got to do after that is just level the light, lock it in place. You can see it here, you can see the beam pattern of the light. And I can lift it and lower it. Make sure they're level with each other. I can tighten it up after I'm done. It's ready to go. Right on, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. I hope this is a simple procedure. I'm going to post this video. Basically, this is the video saying that I am ready to start selling these as a kit. So if you're interested, there's a link below to my Instagram, and you can message me on Instagram. Take PayPal goods and services only. That way everybody's covered. And I will only ship out after the payment has cleared. So if there is something pending, it's going to take longer. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or need any help, you can always message me on Instagram, and I will be more than happy to guide you through it. If you do not want to buy the complete kit, you just want the spacers, and you guys want to buy the lights yourself, I will leave a link to the lights. And you guys can make your own brackets, get your own hardware, and build it yourselves. And I'll help you through that as well. I'm not doing this to make money. It's just something that I find fun to do, and I don't mind helping other people along the way. All right. Have a good day. God bless.